Hey, welcome back to Score on Business. So we're still with Terry. Terry, as an entrepreneur, gets to the point where they're starting to build a management team, especially if they're a male. What are some things they can do to create a culture that is going to be good for women to step up and other folks that are, not white men, white males as well?
That's a really deep topic and rich topic. So there are a few things that immediately come to mind. One is to be aware, so we all have biases. To be aware if you have a bias, ask questions of the people that are working for you. So what will make this job more successful for you? Ask for feedback. How can I support you in this role? We have a large meeting, it's a significant meeting. What can I do to help you prepare for this meeting? So being involved, asking questions, helping somebody continue to develop, and asking questions to receive feedback is one of the things, and for any leader that's
I was thinking that's just good leadership.
Right, exactly. So that's an important skill. Also, I think about the talent that you're hiring. Hire the best people for the job, and people there are certain things that you can't teach someone. Look at someone's history around initiative. So if you've brought a woman onto your team and she has maybe some technical gaps or some things that she needs to learn, but she has good initiative, challenge her to step up and learn the things that she needs to learn. Give her some opportunities to do that. Have her work on assignments that will stretch her, where you're actually partnering or walking alongside her. I look at my own career, I would not have made it to where I did without mentors, without people who believed in me, and also people who took me aside and gave me the talking to every once in a while.
Right.
You're not doing yourself any favors with these behaviors.
Right.
So, find people who are willing to accept the feedback and add them to your team, and encourage different points of view. A woman may have a different point of view than a man, may have a different style, but be open to what the possibilities are with that. So most of us live in our own heads, in our own worlds, and we're accustomed to being around people who are like us. And open your mind to the possibilities of bringing in people with different points of view.
Right.
It can be really rich, it can challenge some things, certainly, but innovation comes out of that.
Right.
Change comes out of that. Growth comes out of those types of conversations.
Oh yeah, heterogeneous groups make better decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and there are all kinds of studies that show that companies that are more profitable have women and minorities serving in decision-making positions throughout their organizations. So, it's some secret sauce for the companies.
So, what are some of the, kind of changing gears a bit, what are some of the top challenges that leaders are facing today, kind of in the smaller business as opposed to the enterprise?
I think all businesses today, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, certainly the pace of change and constant disruption if you look at just current day, if you think about supply chains, a global supply chain being interrupted can impact a small business in a bigger way than a larger business, for example. So understanding what's going on in the environment around your business, understanding the talent, so really being connected with the people in your organization to know, are they happy? And happiness is really up to the individual, but create a work environment that people want to show up on Monday, and on Friday they're surprised that the week has ended already. So really creating a good work environment for folks, and figure out what that looks like, to your workforce. I also think that if I look at every single person that I've ever coached, every single person that I've ever worked with or for, being able to manage stress, to achieve some balance is different for each person, But if you look at the ability to be resilient, to have some time away, one of the things that leaders have to be able to do is find time to think. Another colleague of mine and I were doing a workshop together, and he said something that I thought was absolutely brilliant. He said, leaders are paid to think and to be in conversations that get results. That's it. And so if I'm thinking and I'm executing appropriately, I'm going to be more successful, as opposed to constantly hopping on the treadmill every day and just continuing to run without thinking about where we're going or being more strategic. So, and it's hard for people to make that time to really put things first, like getting a workout or meditating or adding those things. And often we discount sleep. In the U.S., we are really uniquely gifted in that we feel like we don't need as much sleep as our bodies do. But some of those basic habits, being able to exercise those, are so important for successful leadership. And if I look at I mean, literally every person that I've ever worked with, the component of managing stress and finding some balance is a constant as well.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's see. What is helpful for leaders to consider when looking for a coach to work with?
The most important thing in my coaching relationships is that my clients trust me. So it's a very intimate relationship when you're talking about your own performance and your own growth, and so you have to feel like the other person gets you, understands you, and is also able to help you learn and grow.
Right.
The other thing that I think about is in executive situations, you want to work with someone who has some experience in doing the things that you've done, doing or moving towards. So if you're being promoted, you want to work with someone who has been on that path simply for context, not for comparison. Coaches are different than a business advisor or what have you. We're there alongside you, but context helps. And then look at someone who has invested in their learning. So credentialed coaches spend an awful lot of time in classroom learning about their craft, constant learning, and that type of thing.
Perfect. So, thank you so much for being here, Terry.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Ladies and gents, we will see you next week. Bye now.